Hey, it's Radoslav here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to show you 6 ways to improve your butterfly stretch. And while showing it to you, I want you to see how I progress through it. So I'm going to show you when I am cold. I'm going to go warm up. And then as I show you these exercises and strategies for improving your butterfly, you'll see hopefully me progress through my butterfly. I'm not naturally flexible. Some people, based on their bone structure, their muscles and tendons, they can just do the butterfly stretch. I'm not one of them. So let's get started. All right, this is me doing my butterfly stretch, completely cold, no warm up. Okay, I'm gonna start my warm up and then I'll catch you in a bit. All right, I just came back from my warm up. All I did was a 10-minute run with a few squats and lunges following that. And we're gonna start with step number 1, or tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to keep your back straight. Almost like 95% of people who do butterfly stretches do something like this where they're trying to get their chest down to the ground and they end up rounding their back. The more you round your back, the more you're stretching your lower back and taking pressure off of your adductors. So by straightening your back, such as this, and trying to lean forward, so I'm trying to touch my belly button to my toes instead of trying to get my head down here. So the more I try and get my belly button forwards and flatten my back, the more pressure I'm going to put into my hips so that I can actually work on the flexibility and mobility of the adductors, which is what you're trying to do with the stretch. Tip number 2, this is really going to be helpful for those of you who are struggling to keep your back straight or to have your ankles closer towards your body. You're going to need a wall for this. I think everyone has a wall. All you're going to do is basically scoot your butt as close as you can to the wall and then align your ankles so that they're really close to you. And now you can basically sit into this position. It helps stop you from rounding your back and it really helps bring your ankles in towards you. This is super straightforward and simple. So here, butt close to the wall, scraping down. And now I can sit on my ankles effectively, have them nice and close. And I can basically lean forwards with a straight back, focus on my belly button going forwards. Tip number 3 is to use weights. So dumbbells, these are 10 kilo weight plates, so it's about 22 pounds. Or using a partner to help push you down, or having someone stand on top of you. I don't recommend starting with the standing on top of you. So start with some light weights. Get into your wall. It's going to be a lot easier if you use a wall for all these tips basically. So you get into your wall position. Then you put one weight on. Put another weight on. Try and have them more outwards towards your knees so it puts more pressure down. And then you basically you're in this end range of motion for your adductors. You're working them out the same way you would do a bench press or a deadlift or squat. Is that here I'm out there and then I'm using my muscles in this stretched position, so I'm giving it strength while in this end range position. So what that does is it tells your nervous system, hey, it's cool, we can be out here, and it basically trains your body to increase your mobility. So you'll see some people who are really, really flexible, but they don't have control over that flexibility, such as like they're throwing a kick and they can't hold that kick up high. That's showing lack of strength with the flexibility. But when you combine strength, flexibility, you get mobility, and then you get those really cool people who can do super high kicks. So yeah, that's just a tangent right there. Anyway, so here the weight's pushing me down, giving me a stretch, and I'm pushing up against it, strengthening my muscles. Tip number 4 is once you, in conjunction with the weights, I find is best, is that when you push down, okay, now we're working the adductors. But if I grab the outside of my knees and push outwards, so I'm forcibly spreading my legs open, so I'm lifting up with my hands are picking up my knees are pressing down against my hands. Now I'm working the outside hip muscles of my butt to help force this open. This is the antagonist muscle working, when the antagonist or the opposite muscle, so if you can imagine the adductors are my biceps, and the glute muscles pulling open my legs are my triceps. When I activate my triceps, so right now we're activating triceps, analogy. I activate the triceps, it forcibly or reflexively relaxes the bicep. because if the bicep keeps contracting while I'm trying to extend my arm, the body's not working efficiently and smoothly. So by training the antagonists with the agonists at the same time, we're getting a really good stretching effect that increases mobility. So we're adding strength and flexibility. We get mobility. We have control over the range of motion that we build. You don't want to just be able to have someone push you into a stretch or use gravity to pull you into a stretch. It's much more impressive. Like if I start here, which is somewhere where I was in the beginning of this video, and now I can pull my legs down and open with my own power, that's really, really a good sign of strength and flexibility put together, mobility. Tip number 5 is kind of difficult to show you, so I'm going to have to try and explain to you with the shoe. If you can imagine the shoe as my hip, as it's facing you right now, if I lean forwards, I'm tilting my pelvis forwards. Okay, and this is what we want. We want to work towards getting it down all the way. And once you get it down, and your pelvis is tipping forwards, you want to start tipping your pelvis backwards. It's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be more strain on your hips and adductors to be able to maintain this flat position while you're rolling your pelvis backwards. So here I'm doing it. You can see that in my forward position, I'm basically down. But then as I roll my hips back and forth, so this is forwards, forwards it can be like this, but if I'm using the wall, I'm pushing my back into it. Forwards, down, and now my knees are touching. And then I roll my back, move my pelvis back, and you can see how this increases space, and I move forwards, move backwards, move forwards, move backwards. So as you improve with the weight and you get down, you're going to start wanting to use this pelvic rocking technique. Something to note here, you can see the sweat marks from my back here. You should be sweating and hot when you're stretching. Don't be cold when you're stretching. So I'm here, I'm in this position. We have this analogy of my hip here in this forward position, and then we rock it back and forth. So I'm leaning forward, my hips are forward, I'm pretty much down. If I bring my back to the wall, push it forwards, and you can see my back arching here, like this. If I round my back, I know I told you before not to, but now you're more advanced, you can start breaking the rules. If we go from here to here, the strain on the adductors will increase. So once you've gotten to nice down flat position, see my back is rounding here. It's really straight. If I start to round it, it's harder for me to maintain this down position. So here, start to round. And you basically want to work towards making it so that when you round, you can still keep your legs down. And like I said in the beginning, I'm showing you the whole process, kind of like a mini workout here. I do my warm-up, then I start walking you through. I'm doing all these in chronological order. I'm not filming 1 and 7 at the end, or 6 and 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I'm filming it. So you're seeing the progress of basically me going from cold to warm. So yeah, so as I get warmer, I should in theory get better. In theory. So here, around the back. And now you're sitting in a nicer butterfly. And before I use the wall, this was really hard to do, to maintain this nice position to keep pushing without your ankles moving forwards. But after using the wall for a few months, it's a lot easier to get this nice forward butterfly position and to get the knees down faster. Tip number 6 is basically when you're flat down and you can't go anywhere, you have the weights and everything's touching down. Tip number 6 is to add some distance between your ankles. This can be done 2 ways. The most common way that I see it done is basically adding elevation to your ankles. So if I take this weight plate, put it under me, and I'm going to add some soft comfortness, gloves and socks. Be ingenuitive with this. Here, you can use a pillow too. Just roll up some towels, anything. So here, we increase the height. If I wasn't using this slippery weight plate, it'd be easier. Here we increase the height, and now we can push basically past the horizontal line of the hips. We can start to work to get the knees down further. And the alternative way that I prefer to do this is perfectly fine. The way I prefer to do it is to put the separation in between the feet this way. So you'll notice this if you have shoes on and you take off the shoes, it's gonna be way easier for you to do your butterfly. Same principle here is that if we add more towels or whatever between the legs, see now they've reset into a different height because now they're further back, the femurs are further away. And basically you restart the whole process again. Add the weights, push against the legs, keep the back flat, start to roll the pelvis. And then as that touches down, add more and more separation. You can start with just a little separation. That's just an example with all those things. Here, down, add the weights. You get the feet to touch. And then a caveat here is that the weights are really, really gonna help you get down into the stretch. Push up and down. And then as you remove the weights, use the outside, your triceps, your butt muscles to pull your legs apart and down. So here's the difference. If I take these weights off, oh, it feels great. So I let myself go. Or I keep these weights on, and then as I lift them, I'm keeping pressure down so that I maintain my butterfly stretch using just my muscles. Let's work on a little troubleshooting with this. When I first started, and when a lot of people first start, there's a lot of ankle pressure, and it really hurts a lot. Use towels, roll stuff up, put it under your ankles. It's not cheating, it's really helpful. Trust me, your ankles will build up strength when you do that. Another thing is, if you do this for like 5 minutes, like a 5-minute long set, you'll see some huge differences. Don't do this you can do this for just a minute. I've done both. Actually, shorter sessions usually work better for me. But if you do a 5-minute long session where you're sitting like this, and everything's, your ankles are locking up and you're starting to feel the pain, don't start walking on it right away. So don't basically try and roll and get up. There's gonna be a lot of pressure in your ankles and knees afterwards, for me anyways. So what you can do is basically use your hand, pull your leg forwards, relax, roll your ankles, and then get up. Alright? So I hope you found this video useful. Please comment, like, share, do whatever you want. Give me a subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Hope you have that wonderful day.